Some emotion, they don't hit you until life knocks on your door with them. You think you understand pain or regret or love, but truth is, you don't. Not until you live it, not until it undoes you. Let me tell you what I mean. There's a man who went from woman to woman, treating each one like they were just a stop along the way. Never cared, never stayed. But the day he held his newborn daughter in his arms, something shifted. He looked at her tiny face, and for the first time, he was afraid. Afraid that one day, a man like him might cross her path. And just like that, his whole view on women changed. That's what guilt does when it finally catches up. And then there are the ones who used to ghost people without a second thought. They'd leave conversations hanging, walk away without closure, thinking it was easier than dealing with emotions. Until one day, someone they actually loved vanished without a word. No explanation, just silence. And suddenly, it wasn't easy anymore. It was unbearable. That's when they finally understood what their silence once did to someone else. And another one, a father who used to raise his hand thinking it was discipline. "It's how I was raised," he'd say, as if that made it right. But one day, during an argument, his little grandchild flinched, not from the noise, but from fear. Real, deep-rooted fear. And in that tiny reaction, he saw the truth. He didn't teach obedience. He passed down trauma. And it was never strength, it was survival. Then there's this girl, always posting smiles, perfect selfies, and happy captions like, "blessed." People looked at her and thought she had it all. But behind the screen, she was breaking. Bills unpaid, a relationship falling apart, sleepless nights. One night, someone commented, "You're living the dream." And that simple sentence broke her heart, because she wasn't. That night, for the first time, she posted something real. "I'm not okay." And she waited, scared, but hoping someone would understand. And the other important one, a guy who always had to be right. Quick with comebacks, always debating, correcting, overpowering with words. But one day, his younger sister was rehearsing a speech, clearly nervous. She looked at him, not for feedback, but for support. And instead of correcting her, he just said, "You're going to do great." Her smile, it said everything. That moment taught him, words don't always need to prove a point. Sometimes they just need to heal. There's also this woman who was always rushing to work, to errands, to everything. She had no patience. Until one morning, stuck in traffic, she honked at an old man slowly crossing the road. She was furious, until she looked closely and saw his shaky hands on a cane. His eyes focused on every step. And suddenly, she wasn't angry anymore. She was ashamed. Because in that moment, she remembered life isn't a race, and kindness is never wasted. And some people scroll through the internet, judging strangers like it's a sport. Bad outfits, cringe videos, sad posts, easy to laugh at when it's not your pain. But one day, they saw a heartfelt post from someone they knew about losing a parent. The comments were cruel, mocking, and suddenly, it wasn't funny anymore. Because when grief touches your life, you learn empathy matters more than entertainment. Then there's her, the quiet one in the friend group. Always listening, always supporting, never opening up. She thought if she kept her pain hidden, it couldn't be judged. But one day, a friend broke down in front of everyone, admitted their struggles, and the group embraced them with love. That night, with her heart pounding, she whispered to someone, "I'm not okay sometimes." And for the first time, someone held her. And the other important one, a girl, sitting at the dinner table, scrolling her phone while her mother spoke about her day. She barely listened. Every night, same thing. Until one evening, her mom paused, voice breaking, and said, I just wish you'd look at me when I talk. That sentence, it stayed. That night she put the phone down, took her mother's hand, and truly listened. Because presence is love, and love shouldn't wait. There's also a friend who stopped showing up. To gatherings, to chats, to life. The group didn't notice, didn't ask. Until someone mentioned his posts, quiet cries for help hidden in plain sight. That's when it hit. All the missed messages, the unopened texts. That night, one of them sent a message. I'm here. I should have been earlier. Because sometimes the ones who disappear aren't drifting, they're drowning. And another one. A girl always praised by her parents, while her younger brother was called a failure. She scolded him too, thinking it would help. But one night, she found him drawing, beautiful sketches, full of emotion. He looked at her and said softly, I just want to be good at something. You'll notice. And in that moment, she saw him, not as a problem, but as a person. And she chose to cheer for him, not fix him. Then there's a man who passed his elderly neighbor every day without a word, just a nod. Always rushing, always busy. Until one storm ruined her garden and he saw her trying to fix it alone. He walked past, but the guilt stayed. That night, he couldn't sleep. Next morning he knocked, said, Can I help? And her smile said what words couldn't. Being a neighbor is not about sharing a wall, it's about sharing humanity. And finally, a woman who always ended friendships too quickly. One wrong word, one forgotten call, and she'd walk away, no apologies given. Years later, she found an old letter from a friend she never forgave. It was an apology, one she never replied to. She realized her silence hurt more than the mistake itself. That day, she wrote back, even if it was too late, because saying sorry isn't weakness. It's what keeps hearts connected. Some emotions you don't know until they hit you. Until the pain is yours, until the silence is for you. Until you look back and wish you'd done things differently. So listen, before it's too late, speak while they're still here. And feel deeply while you still can.